Hi, this is Dan, editor at Scootering magazine. We're just doing a small series of videos in relation to an upcoming series of articles in the magazine. The series will be headed up by Stan, who's doing a trip to Poland on his Lambretta, and this series of articles and videos will revolve around the engine build. So we're going to do a few unboxing videos of some of the products that we've got lined up to go in the engine. It's a small block engine for his Lambretta, and so let's take a look at some of the products. Right, one of the first products that we're having a look at today is the Quattrini kit. This is the small block Lambretta Quattrini kit for Stan's trip to Poland. Let's have a look and see what is inside the box. So this is the kit designed by Max Quattrini. Off the top of my head, I think these kits retail for around 650, including VAT. So in terms of some of the kits which are out on the market for small block, it does come in at the top of the price range, or near the top. But as you'll see in a minute when I unpack this, there's a reason for that. There we go. So that's all the bits and bobs. So we've got the kit here itself, which has the built-in reed manifold here. Which is a nice way of doing it. A lot of the kits use the separate manifolds. They can have trouble with clearance on the frame tube. This is obviously cast into the kit itself. It feeds through into a set of Boyson feeders which come through into the main transfer ports here. And it also has the removal of the normal central spigot there. There is a very small lip which is used for the central alignment of that. And then the reed block stuffer, which will go inside there to mount the carburettor onto. The piston, if I recall correctly, from the write-up that we did on this when we featured it in the magazine, it's quite a nice, unique bit of kit in terms of its shape. There's some interesting features throughout the kit in general, not least of all the way that the central bore of this is offset, so you get more fin area on the side of the cylinder, which is renowned for running at a higher temperature to assist with cooling. The actual port arrangement itself comes in with your normal transfers each side, boost port at the back, and inlet direct with Boyson feeders. That in effect is very similar to something like the RB200 kit in that part of the arrangement. Overall, lovely bit of kit. The power output of these will vary depending on what other components you use with it. And you'll see in a minute, if you look at some of the other videos, some of the other components we're going to use. But what Stan is essentially hoping for from this build is something which has what I would call middle range power. He's not going to be building this to its full potential in terms of the crazy high horsepower that you can get from these kits, which we know some of the other tuners have already been having a little go at and got some really significantly good numbers out of these little kits. So if you want to go to the high end, these can be tuned up with some really nice components, but Stan won't be looking at that. He'll be keeping the kit in its standard format, running it with a touring exhaust, a 30mm carb, and a fairly nice touring setup, probably with a 5-speed gearbox, which we'll have a look at in a minute, in order to ascertain what he needs, which is a combination of good miles per gallon, good reliability, good power, and as we know that come from these kits, because we did the test ride on it with chisel speed, nice amounts of middle range torque with a good spread to get him up the hills, onto the headwinds, and out across where he needs to go, with the most important thing, reliability. So that's the kit we're going to be using. It's the Quattrini kit, £650 retail. Really, really lovely bit of kit. They are very well thought out, lots of attention to detail in terms of the thermals, the cooling, the type of head that is used, the compression ratios, the shape of the piston. All in all, a really, really lovely bit of kit, well worth the money, and I think that this is going to be a nice bit of kit to convert the largely forgotten small block engine into something far more interesting and usable. That's all for the Quattrini kit. We're going to take a look at some of the other products. Click on the other videos if you want to see a little bit more of what's going on with Stan's build for the Quattrini trip to Poland.